Here at Salt and Light Christian Church. Got to get my magnifying device ready. The story that I will be telling you all this morning is about the hymn, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Deuteronomy 33:27 says, "The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." This song was originally come up with by a man named Anthony Salter. He lived in the mid to late 1800s in the southern United States. He was a He was a teacher, a professor, and eventually even a principal of the Southern Musical Institute. And he went on to spread music throughout many local churches all throughout the southern United States. He would travel around to these local churches and plant singing schools to teach people how to sing the hymns and to praise God. He published over 130 hymns throughout his life, with over 2 million copies of his hymns sold. And so he was quite successful in the area of music. One evening, while he was teaching at one of these singing schools that he had planted, after finishing up and dismissing his students for the evening, he went home to find a couple of letters sent to him from some of his dear friends, two specifically. And in the contents of these letters, each of his friends described their grief of losing their wives recently. Around the same time, they each had their wife pass away. And wanting to help console them, Anthony went to the scriptures looking for a verse to do so, or a passage. And he came upon Deuteronomy 33:27. And after writing back to his friends, he couldn't get this verse out of his head. And it was stuck. And he ended up jotting down the lyrics to the chorus of this song, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. However, he was still stuck. He couldn't get the lyrics just right. He had the chorus set, and he liked it, but he couldn't get the verses, the stanzas in the song how he wanted. And so he sent the chorus in a letter to one of his fellow hymnist friends, a man named Elisha Hoffman, who, upon reading his letter and seeing the chorus to the song, immediately fell in love with it and wrote 3 stanzas that we have today. And he sent those lyrics back to Anthony, who quickly wrote the music to go along with the lyrics for the song. And with that, the song that we know and love today was written. This song, the lyrics are quite reassuring. They're very comforting, as that was the mindset Anthony had when writing it. And we see this not only from the lyrics, but also from a statement written later by a famous pastor, Charles Spurgeon. Charles wrote, I can figure out how to hold both of these, I swear. Charles Spurgeon wrote, God, the eternal God, is our support at all times, especially when we are sinking into deep trouble. Excuse me. There are seasons when we sink quite low. However, dear child of God, even when you are at your lowest, underneath are the everlasting arms. And so we can see not only from the beautiful lyrics in this song, but also from this comment of the renowned pastor Charles Spurgeon, that God has our backs as his people, and he is always there to uplift us, especially in times of difficulty. So thank you. Let's bring the music up.